Good evening. Good evening. Happy Monday, ladies. Happy Monday.
Happy
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 Monday.
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 Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
It's
Okay.
only been 2 weeks, but it feels like forever.
It does.
Well, I'm happy to see you all. Good evening to those of you who are joining us on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching us from. This is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network, and we are here on Mondays nights at 8 p.m. And we are delighted to be back again. We are going to take some time to introduce ourselves and say what we are grateful for, which is how we normally start our program. And then we're just going to get into our conversation, which is just women having some real conversation. And so I'll start. I am Theodora Carter. I am a certified life coach, career coach, HR consultant. My mission and my vision is to help women live the life that they desire to live and empower them to shift their mindset and to move forward so that they thrive in whatever it is that they would like to do. And I am going to toss it over to Netta.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Manetta Fields. I am the owner of Holistically Motivated LLC. This is where we allow you the opportunity to express yourself, your needs, your goals, and we provide holistic solutions to help you utilize what God gave us to be your best self. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and share what I'm grateful for. I am grateful to have celebrated 28 years of marriage by the grace of God.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot to say what I was grateful for. I am grateful to be here this evening. So,
Yes.
congratulations.
Yeah,
28.
congratulations. I saw that.
Yes, that is beautiful.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right. Who you tossing it to?
I am tossing it to my right, which would be Regina.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Regina Booker, owner of Season and Fabulous. We're women of 50 plus, where it's never too late. You can start over again. You can begin your journey, whatever it is you want to do, start a new career, a new hobby, whatever it is, because it's never too late. And that's what we speak on. And I'm excited about my upcoming retreat, which is a mini retreat, intimate retreat that will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. About 15 women, intimate conversation over lunch, and a few little activities. But we're gonna get to know some sisters and sisters connect.
Mm.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, and I'm grateful for I had a week off because, as you guys know, if you've been listening to our show and each of our journeys, what we're on as we do, I am a substitute teacher. So had all last week off. So I was grateful for refreshness and just taking my own time doing what I needed to do and resting. So I went back to work today with the chairman. The chairman was out of control, but you know what? He was in control.
Oh, bless the babies.
The baby. Bless the babies and those adults that are in the classroom with them.
Yes, please.
Who you tossing it to?
Okay, so I'm tossing it to Sheila.
Good evening, everyone. It is so good to be back. I just feel like we've been gone away for so long. So I'm happy to be here. I am Sheila Isom. I am an insurance claims professional, and I am also an independent consultant for Color Street, where we sell nail strips, nail polish strips, real 100% nail polish, but in the form of dry strips. I am also a notary public. And as crazy as it is, I am grateful for the wonders of nature, because those of you may have heard, if you're not living on the East Coast, then you might have just heard about it and not experienced it. But we are not accustomed to certain types of weather phenomena. So last week we had an earthquake here in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, maybe even Delaware area, that really shook us up. So, I mean, minor by, the West Coast standards, I'm sure, but nonetheless, it was very shocking for us. And you follow that up with today, which was the total eclipse. So, I'm grateful for it because prayerfully, the earthquake did not cause any damage or loss of life for us. However, it sparked a lot of conversation, and it sparked a lot of people realizing that things could have been worse, and everyone was checking on their loved ones. So it just put things into perspective of how important love and family and close friendships are.
And so, didn't you guys also have like the Statue of Liberty got struck by lightning too?
Yeah, that was a week before, because it was days and days of rain, and there was one day where the lightning struck the statue, Lady Liberty.
Wow.
But she's still standing.
Yeah, that's it.
Just like us, right? We still
Exactly.
standing.
Yes,
I know I can't
still
get it.
standing.
My text message was blown, like all the little groups I have, everybody was like, and it was like, I was like, it didn't hit us down here, right? But then it made you start checking on people to see how everybody was doing.
Yep.
So, and last but not least, Gina, what you got going on there with your hair? Is it curly? What's happening?
I decided today I'm letting it out, y'all. The weather's getting nice, and it'd be hot up in here with those wraps. So sometimes you gotta let your hair breathe. Okay, I'm just saying. So we breathing today. We breathing. We breathing. Um, I am. Some of y'all know me as Chef Regina. I am. That I enjoy preparing food, but I love the opportunity to show how it brings people together. Food is the vehicle. I like to say it's the vehicle that people come together around, but it's not the main focus. The focus is the memories you create, the things that you share, the memories that you think about from past family gatherings and such. And usually that happens around food or thinking about that. So not only do I like to say, is cooking isn't hard. It's actually easier than we think. And I like to show people with love how to do it, whether you're beginning or you're getting back into it, or you want to try something new. Hey, I got you. And the other thing I am a licensed vendor with the Department of Education in New York City, and I provide job readiness, but also parent engagement and vision board and journaling workshops to the students and families in the New York City Board of Education. Um, what I am grateful for is today no, I'm not going to take credit for it. I'm not going to take credit for it. I'm going to say but no, I was heading to work, and the Holy Spirit said, "Why don't you have an eclipse party today?" So I decided to be obedient to that, and I went in there and I just told my director, "We're having an eclipse party," and so that
So
so
what is
that
it? What did you do?
so that meant I made cookies. I made I made eclipse cookies and created cookies, which were chocolate chip cookies and lemon crunch cookies with the black sprinkles on it, and I made popcorn, and then it was so much fun. And then I had people bringing other people downstairs, and a couple of the participants had the 3D glasses, and we got to see the eclipse. It was so much fun. I think I was the biggest kid out there. I think I was like, oh my God, oh, Like it was just a lot of fun. I was like, "You do glasses again? Let me see that one more again." So I was grateful that I was able to embrace this historical moment, and of course, like I said, food is not the main thing necessarily, but it's the vehicle. So because the witty idea was downloaded and I executed on it, we had such a fun turnout and the people came down and had a great time. Then they came in, they were able to get their treats. If they wanted cookies, if they wanted popcorn, they could have both. And they just stood around and talked about the eclipse and all of the experiences. So I'm grateful for being obedient and taking action and creating a fun, memorable experience for at least 20 to 30 people that may not have had it that way had I not, you know, listened to the Holy Spirit. So I'm grateful for that today. That's what I'm grateful for.
So
Nice.
the last eclipse was like what, 2017? Like when was it?
2017. I
Like, yeah,
remember that.
yeah, it's like 2017. Like I missed it. Like I did see out the window that like it got dark. Like, but it really just seemed like it just, that
I
cloud.
never even, right. I never even, I was like, oh, we did? We had one in 2017? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it was the hot topic, man, for today. So, but
Yeah, I got to experience it today. It was amazing. Amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just think it's great that you can go to work and enjoy work,
Yes.
right? It's not
Yeah.
everybody. Not
Yes.
everybody goes to work and enjoy work.
Yes.
So
You know
that's
what? I'm going to tell you a secret. When you really doing what you love, you,
It's
it
not
makes
work.
room for you. You find a
exactly.
way. Now, y'all know just the my job, my title is vocational recreational coordinator.
Mm,
That has nothing to do with food. Nothing. If I did specifically the job required, I'd be doing assessments, I'd be doing job readiness, I'd be doing workshops on budgeting and how to set up an email. I'd be doing stuff that would take me out. I would be like, y'all, because I could do that. Like, I know how to do all of that. Like,
mhm.
but we have a commercial kitchen. Okay. So
Aha!
we have a commercial kitchen. So the father gave me the opportunity to say, you know what, you're going to use them skills I gave you on how to cook and prepare and how to facilitate and create programs, and you're going to do that there. And so I get to enjoy a major part of my work because I can create programs and use food as the vehicle to highlight what I'm talking about, whether it's Black History Month, Women's History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, anything we can Cinco de Mayo, everything. Look at here,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. Anything and
Mhm.
everything. I can create a program, thinking about it, execute it, get people engaged in doing it with me, cooking, prepping, serving. I've catered for 3 years. I've been catering at my. How you get to cater at your job and you using their kitchen and their resources? That ain't nothing but the Lord. I'm tell you when you look at here. And then on the side, I'm the vocational recreation coordinator. But don't tell them I said that. But don't tell them I said that.
Oh my goodness. So, wow. So, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. And this is what you're going to get it is five women that are what we consider to be Gen X. They say we Gen X, but hey, we just five women of a certain age who are here to just have some real conversation, share with one another, encourage one another, and in encouraging one another, hope we encourage you. And
Mhm.
so tonight, our topic is I see you. How do you see yourself? And this topic is birthed out of the fact that one of our ladies here is about to have a retreat that is centered around bringing women together to talk about how they can support, encourage, and empower one another. So, Regina, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you, how did you come up with that title and theme for your retreat?
Um, just observing women and basically reading the word because we are all Christians here. So in the word, how do God see you?
Mm,
And I started thinking on that, like, I'm so critical of myself. But how does my Heavenly Father see me that created me? So when I started thinking about that, I said, I wonder how other women feel about that. And then in just conversations and noticing, interacting, networking, we always tend to put ourselves down, or we're so busy and we don't see the greatness of ourselves. So if we just take a moment, breathe, and take a look and say, you know what? I am enough. I'm uniquely made. There's no other thing like me, no other thing, no other person like me. And I'm a work in progress. And just, and there is something beautiful about me.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I think that sometimes we just need to lift each other up.
Nice. I mean, for me, I think it's such a great topic, because I think one of the questions I always ask my clients, right, when we start out is, who are you, right? With no labels.
Right.
Right.
Strip the layers off. Once you take all the layers off, all your
the layers off, right? You're not a mother, you're not a daughter, you're not a executive, you're not a substitute teacher, right? Vocational, whatever, HR professional, right? Like who are you down in your core, right? And something you said, right, really resonates with, I guess, all of us, because we are believers, right? Because we are made in the image of Christ, right? Created in our mom's wombs, to be uniquely powerful and amazing. And somewhere along the way, life takes that away, right? And we forget how amazing, right, and beautiful and empowered that we are. So as you ladies think about, right, because I feel like that's such a powerful statement, right? Like I see you, right? But how do you see yourself? What does that mean to you? Like, how does that resonate with you?
So for me, I think of active listening. In order to be seen, you need to be heard, basically, and sometimes it's not always words. It's observing, like Regina was saying. This came from observing. It just kind of noticing some things. Observation can be internal. What's going on with you? How are you showing up? So active listening, as the topic was scrolling across, I thought about situations where I felt unheard and unseen, right? And just wanting to show up in a way that I wish I was being received. And so I think it's important to really actively listen, to convey that I see you, I'm engaged with you, I'm locking eyes with you, I'm feeling what you're saying, I'm noticing what you're saying. I am reflective listening, meaning that I can say back to you what you just expressed to me. Being fully present, I feel like you have to do all of those things to truly see a person. And the flip of that is to give that same grace to yourself.
And I think that's
absolutely.
I think that's on, because like as you were talking, I was thinking, right, especially when it comes to the workplace, right? How you see yourself is so important, because I think so many people walk into spaces sometimes where there are people that try to minimize, right, who you are, right? They try to deflate you. They try to portray you in a way that is not who you are, or they try to put a narrative on you that is not you, and that you sometimes take that in so much that it then impacts, right, your mental health, your physical health, etc. So what you said is so important, for not only me to see you, but for me to help you see what I see in you. Like I literally had a conversation today with calling my little sister, right? Like I have a couple of little sisters, mentee, and we get on the phone and we start chatting, and she just started talking, and I said to her, I really appreciate you, because you sometimes remind me to see something that I forget to see in myself, right? Because she's saying, you know, I really admire you for this and that and that and that, right? I'm like, I appreciate that because it reminds me, right, that sometimes I'm forgetting who I am, right? So I think it's so important for, like you said, for someone to really hear you and
Mm-hmm.
see you so that they can help you and remind you to also see yourself, right?
Wow, that
And I go ahead, Jean.
I'm okay. Um, I have a dear friend of mine, and she's in transition. Amazing woman, dynamic. She's written books, co-authored books, and we were having a conversation, and I was listening to her in the moment she's in. But what I shared back to her are all the things that she's already done. And
Mm,
I was like, you, this is a moment. So like I felt like it was a Black Panther moment when, I was like, remember who you are. Remember what you've already accomplished. Remember what you have done, because sometimes when we're in a moment that's not feeling so good, all of a sudden we forget all those things we've done, all those accomplishments we've made, all the things we've already overcome. Because in that moment, that doesn't feel good. We feel like ugh and stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even less than, when none of that is true.
mm,
So as we started talking, and I was like, sis, and we were going back and forth, and I was like, remember this. I was like, I care about you. I am not going to sit here and co-sign on the way you are talking right now, because
mm,
you are above this. You
Mm-hmm.
you are above this, and you will get through this. Okay? And so I think it's important, when not only when we see ourselves, but to see the queens and the kings and others, and be able to bring that to them when they're in a moment where they're not feeling so and that they're not remembering their greatness.
mm,
And just the other side of that too, Theo says something I think is really important, that other people in your workplace sometimes put their narratives on you. You don't want them speaking too high or too low, because you may be wherever you are in your growth stage professionally. And so you don't want to put yourself in a space of overwhelm by accepting what they say. If they try to put extra load on you as far as work and different things, it's like, hey, appreciate you coming to me regarding that. But however, I need you to know that my plate, I have the right amount of carbs, the right amount of protein, okay, and I have the right amount of vegetables. I cannot take on that other thing you're trying to put on my plate. I'm
mm,
gonna need you to understand that. And of course I'm talking in food, right? But I'm gonna need you to understand that what you trying to put on me for whatever reason, as one more thing to do, or thing that I no, I'm gonna have to pass on that.
mm.
So sometimes it's also knowing that while it may feel good, check yourself and honor what you really do bring, the stuff that's in you that you do well, but also be okay with saying, you know what, not now.
Mhm.
Because it's not mandatory. It's mandatory for you, so you don't have to do it. But you're
Yeah.
going to put that on me. So in the workplace, I think it's super important that we check ourselves and know what we're capable of, and understanding the environment and taking the temperature of the room when certain people are in conversation, saying things or giving you attributes that may or may not be accurate. It's super important to stop them in the middle of that,
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't take on what they're projecting on you. So that's what I'm
And
saying.
yeah, and it, Sheila, I'm gonna let you go, but it is so crazy, right? Because that would take us into the whole topic of boundaries, but that's a whole nother topic.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind about how do you see yourself is authenticity.
Mm,
Mm.
Because not only do you want to be transparent and true to others, but first and foremost, you have to be that with yourself. So
mhm,
how do you see your authentic self? How do you see the real you? Because that is also displayed in how you carry yourself. It's displayed in your words, it's displayed in your actions, and it's also displayed in your silence. When we talk about, about some of the God talks to us about, he's telling us everybody doesn't have to know what you do, right? Sometimes you have to move in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, are you moving that way because you're holding back something? You're holding secrets. You're not facing the reality. You're not facing your true self. Are you doing that because that is who you are? And this part of me, right? You should be able to see that I'm transparent, that the real me is someone who doesn't have to always speak. But when I speak, I put truth to words. So there's just that's the one thing that comes to my mind is seeing your true self and the real person that you are.
And I think that's so powerful. And why that's so powerful and it resonated with me is because I always considered myself to be an authentic person, right? Until I went through something. And then I realized I was authentic, but I was authentic wearing a mask, right? So I wasn't I wasn't truly authentic, right? And it wasn't until I went through this whole process of healing and really figuring out who I am and why I was doing certain things or making certain decisions, right? That I really got to the place that you were talking about, right, Sheila, where it's true transparency. Like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer the girl that will tell you that I'm okay when I'm really not, right? I'm no longer the girl that's going to say everything is cool when it's really not. I'm no longer the girl that's going to say, yes, I could do it when I really can't, right? Well, so I think that authenticity is so very important to this journey of how do you see yourself, right? Because when you see yourself through other people's eyes, like Regina says, you sometimes try to portray yourself like that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. And Theo saying no, that's
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn to say no. That's seeing yourself too, because you're trying to people please and pleasing people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel the guilt behind that. If I don't, how do they think about me? Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
you're going to
Right.
kill yourself trying to do it in the meantime, because you don't have the time nor the energy, and maybe not even the know-how. But you're so busy trying to please your friend, your coworker,
Mm-hmm.
whoever, your husband, your kids, because we wear many hats,
Mm-hmm.
and saying no is a part of seeing yourself as well, because you're not going to see your true self, as Sheila said. Who are you? We have to do, and I love that, move in silence. So sometimes in my house, as you guys might know, what all my sisters know, I semi raising my grandson, and my son comes through, and sometimes I just sit there and they just watch me. And what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with me. But they know when that silence comes, grandma needs her time. I'll
Yeah.
take I'll take Ayan and go, yep, it's about that time. Sometimes but it's sometimes your sign, your body language can give people, that reaction that it's time, that you need your time to refresh.
I think, and I'm gonna put Netta on the spot now, because I think also as I continue this journey, right? Because for me, I feel like we're always healing, right? We're always learning, we're always evolving, and I think another important part about seeing yourself is the strength.
I was sitting here biting my tongue.
I was gonna put you on the spot, right?
Go for it, Netta.
So
Come on,
talk
Netta.
a little bit about that, Netta.
Well, for those who may not know, we're referencing the Gallup Clifton Strengths, and it is 34 attributes listed in a specific order that is unique to you. And knowing who you are is imperative to show up authentically. If you don't know who you are, you can't do that. And
Mhm.
so, in learning strengths, it really gives verbiage to who God made you to be. We can understand, like, I'm listening to Regina said, I get silent, and those around me know that I need my time. That's a strength.
Mhm.
It's called relator. And relator is a strength in which your tight circle is small. You're not one that's going to cast the net wide. The door is not open to any and everybody at all times.
Mm.
People are vetted in your life.
Mm.
And there are only a certain number of spots for people because your table is small. It
Mm.
can be 1 seat or 3 seats, but it's not going to be much more than that.
Mhm.
And so, and also a relator needs time alone. Because being around people, conversing, and being part of a conversation, that's draining to a relator. And
Mhm.
so, why is that important? For me to know that about myself and for others to know that about me. So they don't think I'm acting funny. They
Mhm.
understand who I am. So your strengths helps you embrace you, and then it helps you have the language to teach others about you because now you know yourself. And
Mm.
so it's also important to understand what your strengths are not. Back to Gina. You're not going to put these things on me because I can't, that's not who I am. I can't receive that right now.
Yeah.
Understanding who you are not is key because you don't have to try to strengthen your weaknesses. No,
Mm.
there's no point in strengthening your weaknesses. They're at the bottom for a reason. I'm talking about strengths now, not other things. I'm talking about
Mhm.
gal strengths. But so woo is in my bottom strengths. Woo is called winning others over. You're
Mm.
not going to see me walk into a room and try to rub elbows with everyone. That's not
Mhm.
who I am. But I know that about myself. I just didn't have the words for it. So each of us has our strengths, and we have those things that aren't necessarily who we are that we don't need to strengthen. When we're in school, we get that test back. We made a 94. What's the first thing we do?
Try to figure out how to get 100.
Why we didn't get 100?
Uh-huh.
100.
And so
Yeah.
it's like that in our strength. People, well, why is communication at the bottom? I need to be able to communicate. You do, but in your own way.
Mm.
So, it's a beautiful tool to help
Mhm.
show up authentically. And then when your family members engage in the same conversation, it shifts the entire dynamic of your home. I'm speaking from experience. Our family is pretty laid back, pretty quiet. We have one person who wants everybody to come over. And then we have others who are like, who is that? Why'd you invite them? We don't know. What are we going to say to them? So, coming to an agreement, that we can't cast the net. We can't have 100 people, but let's talk about the ones that can make it through the door.
Mhm.
And can we do it in phases? Can we do an hour this group and an hour that group so that the relators in the house are okay to survive? So, I could really go on and on about this, but it's so important to understand who you are and who you are not. You are seeing the real you. That's the whole point. I see you and I see me. And then we can show up and take care of some things.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not looking. I'm trying to find my strengths.
Look, Netta should have all our strengths.
Right, right. She should have them.
Would
Yeah.
love that.
But I do think that's so important, right? Because it really does make you think about, right, how you see yourself. Because once I did it, right, it helped me understand why I was the way I was, right?
Yes.
And why I did some of the things that I did. And like, there's nothing really wrong with you, girl. You just operating in your strength, right?
And that's important, Theo.
important.
Some people will make you feel like something's wrong with you because
Mhm.
you're not like them. Well, guess
Yeah.
what? You never will be
Mhm.
because God doesn't use a cookie cutter.
Exactly.
It's so important. And what's so crazy is, Gina has said something about, right, like that, her friend being in transition, right? And it's so crazy because I feel like I'm in the mode where I know I'm about to transition, right? And it's crazy because I wrote it in my journal, right? April is going to be the month of transition, right? And then what was the sermon on Sunday? The trauma of transition,
Mm.
right?
Oh.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And
That's a
so
real
I was like,
one.
okay. And it was just really talking about how, life is filled with transitions, right? Good and
Mhm.
bad, but that, it's a necessary part of life because things and people that don't transition don't thrive.
Yep.
Right.
Wow.
And so it was like, so I was like, all right, God, okay, so I guess I'm on the right track, right? Like, but I think it's also important in how you see yourself, right? And that's why I think it's so cool that, like I'm excited about this retreat because of course I'm gonna be there, right? Supporting my sister and I'm just excited. I'm always excited when there's an opportunity for women to come together
Mm-hmm.
and really talk about who they are,
Mhm.
right? It is not about anybody else, but who are you? How do you see yourself beyond how anybody else sees you? Right. And I think so often because we do attach labels, right? So many labels that stops us from really seeing who we are. Because what happens when the children go away to college and it becomes the empty nest? So now you're still the children's mother, but now they're not there and don't need you in the same way that they did. So now how does that transition, right? How do you what do you find with that time where you were like, I am so and so's mother, right?
Mhm. It's
So
funny you say that. It brought back a memory when I lived in Jersey, and my kids, my oldest son had already graduated and moved to North Carolina, and my youngest son decided when he was in, I guess, eighth grade, yeah, the eighth or ninth grade, maybe ninth grade, um, he wanted to live with his dad and his brother in North Carolina, and it devastated me because I wasn't ready. But I let him go because I felt like he should be with the men. And I lived in, Jersey's three-family housing. So I was on the second floor. So my Aunt Frida said, "Boy, you really miss Blake." I go, "Why? Why? How? Why? What do you mean?" She said, "You just walked all night, all day, all night, all day. Just walked. You didn't know what to do with yourself." And she said, "You never walked. And I can hardly hear you. But you just walked and you walked and you walked." I said, "Oh." But I kind of remember because I didn't know what to do with myself, as busy as I was. And I know Netta, Netta says, "How are we busy?" And she doesn't like that word. But as many activities and things that I had. But when my children left, and I had to really discover, like, okay, started discovering, okay, who you are. So that's so true. Because I didn't know what to do. My baby was gone. I was like, what am I going to do?
but it's so like so all the words, right, that we're using, transition,
Mhm.
discover, right? It's so important because it is like a discovery.
Mhm.
It's like like you need to reinvent
Right.
yourself, right? And so that's why I think it's so powerful to really think about, I see you, but how do you see yourself?
Mhm.
Because if we begin to really think about how we see ourselves, hopefully when you get to that point, right, you're not so lost. Because like, you know what? Yes, I'm a mom, But in being a mom, I also can be this, right? I can also find time for myself, for the facial, for the massage, for to go for a walk in the park, right? You know, so it's amazing. And so
You also
another thing, go ahead, Sheila.
you also have to remember that we talk about this a lot because life is a journey. So every component of it is a journey. So discovering yourself is a journey. You're not going to wake up one night and just, out of a sleep and say, I am this or I am that. Even rediscovering yourself is a journey. It's a part of the process. So, you're going to have curves, you're going to have bumps, you're going to bruise the heck out of yourself. But what doesn't happen is that the core of who you are does not change. Because if that changes, then you have stripped away any authenticity that you may have had, right? Because you are who you are. You can change some of your characteristics, you can change your behaviors, right? But who you are is already ingrained in you. It's a matter of what you do with that, how you carry yourself, how you look at life, how you share yourself. Just like Regina was talking about, and I think all of us can kind of relate to it. But mine was, on a younger level when my son went to go live with his dad to go to high school. That was crushing to me. Regina walked, I cried. And it was just like, and that's when I became, I became the weekend mom, right? And so, so that was totally different for me. But the other part that I realized is that it also allowed me to not use that as a crutch, so to speak. The fact that I was a single mother, right? Because I was able to find a job that paid me more money by commuting to New York City. I would have been able to do that had my child been living with me. It also gave me the ability to kind of prepare myself to what my life was going to be like when he went off to college. Because when he went off to college, I discovered I had a lot of free time. And it's like, well, what do I do with that free time? I can start finding things that I like or things that I wanted to explore, but things that were still true to who I was. I wasn't, my going to club days were over with, so I wasn't going to hit the streets anymore like that. But I was like, it's time. I've kind of made that evolution. Let me just find some sophisticated grown stuff that I feel comfortable doing.
Yeah. I think that's so important too, right? Because here's the other thing that I think people have to understand, because this is also something I think that trips people up, is that sometimes it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little pain, right? It's going to be a little difficult, right? It's not going to always be the greatest problem. You're going to have to maybe spend a little time in the valley, right? But at the end of the day, how you use that time in the valley, right, is going to really translate into how you come out of what you come out of, right? And so I think that's so important, because I think all of us have spent some time in the valley that brought us here, right? So like we're here because of the journey that we had to go through, right? That helped us evolve and discover who we truly are and wanted to be, right? So
yeah, when you talk about the valley, it made me think of a message a friend of mine shared at church one time. She said, if into the valley I must go, I'm not coming out empty-handed.
Preach.
I like that.
That is it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to shift it a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
In terms of I see you, what helps you feel seen? And I think, that'll help us help those that are watching, because if we show up with the intention to really see the people that we're with in the moment. What does that look like? And I'll give you the example of the opposite of being in conversation with someone and they're like this, yeah, girl, I see you. What you saying? Come on, are you what? I don't want to talk to you.
I think it's really listening. Like I want to say, like maybe a week ago, right? I had a conversation with one of my best friends, one of my really good friends, right? And you know, I I could not talk to somebody, right? And like love you to death, right? But I am not the friend that's going to be calling you all the time and all of that. But we had made a commitment, right? Where we were going to call each other every other month, right? We are going to take turns, right? And of course, right, somewhere along the way, I missed my month, right? Then I missed the next month, right? And and then you know one day I like I sent a message, hey, been thinking about you, da, 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 da. And then from her response in the text, I knew I was like, okay, she's salty, right? But we have the type of friendship that when she called me, right, when we finally talked, she was like, I need to address something. That's okay. And she was like, da, 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 this is how she felt, and I was like, you know what? I don't even have I'm not gonna even make an excuse, right? You know, I know I made a commitment. I apologize. You know, we talked it through, and she said, you know what? I appreciate the fact that you said you are not going to make an excuse, right? And so I think that's important, right? And to what you're saying, when you are in relationship with someone, whether it's intimate, whether it's a friendship or whatever, is that you're able to hear the person.
Yes.
You're able to receive what they're saying, right? And then you're able to respond in a way that doesn't minimize how they feel, right? And then you can move forward, right? Because I could have been like, well, girl, you know, I've been busy, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna excuse, right? I really just dropped the ball, and you know, I don't know what to tell you, right? You know, and so I think that's important to what you're saying, right? It's for me, it's really like how you started out. I think it was you where you said just that active listening. I think also with that active listening is also making sure that you're able to put aside how you feel, right? And whether you agree with the person or not, so that you can hear them, you can actually receive what they're saying and don't minimize how they're feeling. Because I think a lot of times people try to minimize what you're feeling. And to me, it's important for me not to minimize how somebody else feels.
Right. It's real to them.
Yeah.
It's their experience. And we have to respect that. You know, just holding space for them, allowing them the opportunity to be who they are in that moment, and you being fully present, it means so much because everyone has stuff to do, but we stopping in that moment for that person that's in your space, just being fully present.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's so important.
I'm listening to the both of y'all, and I had an experience today, and I had to speak to someone in regards to I missed their presence, and because I was paying attention to how they move consistently, it stood out for me when they weren't there. So I actually reached out to them, and I said, "Hey, you know, I didn't see you the last few times, and I just want you to know that your presence was missed, and I understand why you weren't there, but I'm not judging you." Right? Because you know, sometimes people will inconspicuously disappear if they feel like you're agreeing or may have a disagreement with what they're doing. So they may opt out of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So what I needed to do is to let that person know I, I'm not judging you for what your choices are, right? I appreciate your presence and I respect the fact that you are a full grown adult
Mm-hmm.
and your choices are your choices, but that doesn't mean that you and I can't communicate,
Mhm.
Mm.
right?
Right.
And
That's
so
right.
and she's what she said to me was the reason you thought I wasn't there was the reason. And I
Mm.
told her you don't ever have to let that be a reason because I'm not a judge to
Mm-hmm.
anyone, right? And once we had that clearing, that honest transparency that Sheila was talking about, like I knew myself, but I also paid attention to her to know how she moved, and I understood the why. When she got that, I respected what she had to say, and that there was no reason for her and I not to engage. It was cool.
Mhm.
Mm.
It just took me approaching her so that she understood that you don't have to do that.
The way
We're
you
good.
approached her diffused it all.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
that no judgment is huge. People don't even understand like that.
Right.
No judgment is huge,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when people feel like you're going to judge them, they're like, I'm not going to even show up,
Mm-hmm.
right,
right?
right.
Yep. Yep.
Because it's also how you protect yourself,
Exactly,
right?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a defense mechanism, and you're right. Just the mere prospect of feeling that you're going to be judged gives you the feeling that you need to shrink yourself, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you need to either fade away into the background or not say a word and hope that no one, says anything to you, as opposed to
Mm.
doing the opposite so that you can be seen is either just acknowledging your presence there or being
Mhm.
able to speak up.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so important, and it's amazing because we're coming to the top of the hour. It went by so quickly, you know. Um, one of the other things, like I'm telling you, this sermon on Sunday, like really just resonated with me. Um, one of the other things the pastor said was, you should always think for yourself, but not by yourself,
Mm,
right? And people were like, wow, right? But when you sat back and thought about it, it's like, yes, you should always think for yourself, have a mind of your own, but you also do need to have that one person or two people who you can talk to, who can share their experience with you, or you could share what you're going through and get some words of wisdom, right? Or guidance or whatever, because we don't always have the answer, right? And it's necessary to get other people's input sometimes and still make your own decision,
Mhm.
right? Um, so
I
so I
think it's. I'm sorry. I think it's important to remember also to let them have the moment and not
Mhm.
come back with, well, when it was me, and when I did, it's like, this ain't about you. Give
Right.
the person
Right.
the moment.
Yeah. Just let somebody share their but it's so crazy because I think we live in this world where people listen to respond as opposed
yeah.
listening to hear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you listen to respond, you lose the opportunity to one, really hear what the person is saying, to really understand what the person is going through, right? But also really to just let the person have the moment
Mm-hmm.
because you're so intent of what am I going to say next, right? So, but I think we got a little bit of time where anybody have any last words, any last thoughts on you know this topic. I feel like the time went by really quick.
It
It
did.
did.
It did.
Well, Theo, I was thinking like you, and I was thinking, as it relates to time going by real quick. I'm just playing.
Uh-oh, the spookyism is coming in.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're about to end, but this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. And it's just 5 grown women having some real conversation, but we are about to sign off. So if you're just joining us, please listen to the replay. And we're going to close out with our last thoughts on the topic. I see you. How do you see yourself? So
my takeaway would be, I encourage everyone to take the Gallup Clifton Strengths Assessment and reach out to a certified coach and let them help you really delve into how it shows up in your life, because everybody's situation and experience is unique. It's unique just like we are. And so it will benefit you in everything you do, every connection you have.
So, Netta, can you tell people how to find you so they can take the test?
You can message me on Instagram and Facebook, either one, Holistically Motivated LLC. And you can email me at manettafields.com.
My takeaway from this is, if you're in a room and the conversation doesn't resonate with you and you feel like you're going to say something that goes against what you feel internally, honor that. Honor that, okay? And understand that for you to be your authentic self sometimes may mean that you have to either remove yourself from a conversation or not participate. And either one of those are completely okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, my parting thoughts are, as mentioned earlier, is write your own narrative of who you are, not who you want to be, not what someone else is writing or thinking of you, but write your own narrative. Define yourself as you find yourself and stick to that. One of the things that, classic line is, I sleep good at night. So you should be able to sleep very well at night, knowing that every day you are who you are supposed to be, and you're fine with it. You're not compromising your integrity, because integrity goes hand in hand with authenticity. You are not compromising your morals, and you can walk away from a situation with a smile on your face. And when you rest on that pillow, you know that you have done what it is that you are supposed to do.
All right. And so I am going to say, anybody that follows me, and you guys know my whole motto is healing is a choice. Because I truly believe that when I made the decision to heal, right, to like really heal, is when I discovered who I truly was, right? It was when I decided to embrace everything about myself. It was when I decided to invest in myself through coaching and, therapy, and, just really take the time to say, who is Theodora, without being Theodora the CHRO, without being Theodora the daughter, the sister, the mother, the aunt, right? All of those labels, right? So I would say that if you're going through something right now, like this is for someone who is going through something right now, like you're holding so tight to the past, the disappointments, the rejections, the hurt, the all of this, that you can't even see past that stuff to see who you truly are. Take some time to heal so that you can truly live and be your authentic self. And so that's what I will say. Release the past, right? Don't forget it, because it's going to help you on your journey. But let it go so that you can move from the past to the promises. And I'm gonna just speak for me, who I'm a believer, right? And so whatever you believe in, but for me, I am now able to fully embrace the promises of the word, right? Of what God has said to me about who He created me to be, what He ordained for me to, how He ordained for me to live, right? That He has already ordered my steps, that He has made me to live an abundant life, that He has a plan for me, right? And I just need to embrace who He created me to be. But I had to heal. Like I had to make a decision to heal in order to fully understand what that meant. And so that would be my parting words to anyone. And Regina, I'm going to let you close it out because this is really, this topic came from you. And so I'm going to let you give the last words and also tell people about how they can, connect with you and register for your retreat.
Okay, thank you. My parting words is what I stand for, what Season and Fabulous stand for. It's never too late. Piggybacking off of what Theo said, going through your journey of healing, and once you start that, well, I made, I won't say a mistake. Well, saying after you finish the healing, well, it's too late. No, it's not too late. Start all over. Put on your big girl panty, or gentleman, I don't know what you call gentleman, whoever's listening, put big boy hat. I don't want to say dry. But and do the work. After you did the healing, do the work to get you where you want to go. And that's what I'm doing. And that's where it all evolved from. Like I don't tell anyone, I praise God for my valleys. It seemed like with my valleys and oh shoot, I'm trying to say getting everybody's name mixed up, but I come out with something in the valley. I do. I come out with something in my hand, and I don't turn back. And I remember so many valleys that I was in, and then don't look at your friends, your family, your coworkers, your husbands, because what they have is what they have. What you have is what you have. Don't say they're doing better than you, because you don't know what it took them to get there. You don't know what, especially on social media. Please don't go on social media, because all that's fake. You don't know. And if they're telling you their story, you don't know what it took for them to do. You don't know what they've been through to get where they are. You are uniquely, wonderfully made by our Heavenly Father. I'm sorry, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to speak what I believe in, and you believe in what you want to believe in. But there's a strength there. Get in touch with any of us, because we've all came together on our different journeys, and Trey Kearney brought us together and trusted us with the show. And we told you that week, and none of us was like, we're not doing this. But guess what? We show up and we show out.
There you go.
That is so true, right? And so on April 27th, you want to be in the room. It's an intimate setting. Regina is hosting a retreat, and it's for women to come together and encourage and empower one another. It's in North Carolina, and you should follow Regina at
Season and Fabulous on both websites. Both social media, Instagram or Facebook, Season and Fabulous, and you can also email me at seasonandfabulous.gmail.com. No, at gmail.com.
Right. Yeah. And so this has been the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. We are here the second and fourth Monday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are 5 ordinary women, but we are doing some extraordinary things. And we hope you come back and join us again on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to close out as we normally do which is to say,
Truth
Truth plus transparency
equals
healing.
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 Have
Our
a great night, everyone. Thank
night.
you for joining us.
See you on the 22nd.
Yeah, listen, I
Yeah.
was trying to get the date, the 22nd.
April 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you there. In the meantime, go back and watch some of our other episodes.
Yes. Thank you.
The Woman to Woman Show and the New You Nation Network. Have a great night.